Hello and welcome, guys. We are here for round 4, currently 3-0. Love to see it, especially with a little bit of a homebrew of a list, you might say. We're still playing these flip cards. Let me know what you think about them. Have you been testing them? We'll see. Balaged Recovery did some really unfair things, actually, in the last round that we just played. I mean, I guess paying 3 mana to return a card from your graveyard to your hand is not particularly unfair, but let's just say it was quite good. It was very quite good. So I'm glad to see that card performing. I definitely think of the flip cards that I've tested so far, which are the Mammoth, Florahedron, and Balaged Recovery. I definitely think Recovery is the highest ceiling here of the ones that we have access to. But yeah, let's continue to chug along here and see how we can do. We're well on our way to another 5-0, which would be unexpected and very much welcome. I'd love to be able to share yet another victory with you guys, you members of my YouTube channel here. And yeah, speaking of you guys, I'm not going to waste any more of your time. Let's jump straight into the games. We have been paired. And we're on the play again. Love it. We're playing against Megalove. Could that possibly be a reference to Megalovania? This is an interesting hand. We have all the lands that we could possibly need, and even double bounce in here thanks to our Vesuva. We have a Dryad and an Azusa, so if we draw a Titan, this will be pretty good. We have a Radiant Fountain to buy some time as well. I think I like it. A little loose, because this is definitely one of those hands, though, you could just never draw a Titan and then immediately die based on the fact that you're not really doing anything. Although, if we find one of our 2 copies of Valakut, then we have some stuff to do there as well, so this hand has a lot of things to look forward to. Guess there's no harm in playing the Radiant Fountain out early. And we'll pass it back. I mean, we're telling our opponent just straight to their face, I am playing Amulet Titan, because there's no other deck that would play a Radiant Fountain, pretty much. I guess you might see some Titan Vial decks playing it, but let's play out this Sanctuary. Get our card advantage here, picking up our Radiant Fountain, get our life advantage here. A little bit of a 4-point buffer, I suppose you could say. Looks like our opponent is playing something slow and interactive, potentially. That or, I mean, especially since they didn't shock Watery Grave and not playing Shadow. Looks like it's going to be, it's going to be Mill. That one's a bit of a yikes. Our hand is quite slow against Mill, and if they just Surgical Titan, we're in for a nasty surprise. Okay, well, we definitely need to get this Dryad out underneath Drown in the Loch. That is going to be our #1 priority, since our alt-win condition here is Dryad plus Valakut. Though, we only have 1 Valakut left. Not much we can do about that. So let's get a Forest out here. If we top deck a Garen Rig, we'll be able to make use of the extra mana, although I don't think that there's anything we can do with it, but rather not expose a bounce land here to a Field of Ruin or something like that. And empty some cards from our hand so we don't end up discarding to our own bounce land triggers eventually. That would be pretty awful. Also building up land names for Field of Dead here and getting lands in play to get up to a Valakut. So, several reasons to just play out a basic here. We'll see that we've already lost our Hanweir as well. So, hasting Titan when it comes into play is going to be literally impossible. Surgical Primeval Titan. Yeah. Well, we have to find Valakut. We have 1 copy of Valakut and 1 copy of Talari West and 4 copies of Balaged that'll enable that. Second Surgical would be pretty awful as well. We don't have enough of a clock to be established here to beat our opponent on just the attacking front. It's sort of like trying to beat Burn with a bunch of 2x creatures, except Burn is playing almost entirely only... Oh. An inactive Fatal Push. Not the classiest from our opponent here, but that's alright. Okay, so let's swing with the Dryad that probably should be dead by now. And we're definitely playing Azusa here. There might be reason not to play around a potential drown, but I am totally fine if they drown this Azusa and leave us with the Dryad in play, so And let's get as many land names out here as possible. Will Vesuva copying Sanctuary, perhaps? Or do we want to keep that one in hand? Let's keep the Vesuva in hand and deploy the Rot Farm. And we have 1,000,000 land drops every turn. It's pretty crazy. Unfortunately, we don't have blue sources to cast this Pact Negation, which would... Oh, actually, we do, because of our Dryad. I was kind of already assuming that our Pact Negation was dead, because I expected our Dryad to be dead. Need to keep my head in the game here. We have a Pact Negation we can make use of, so... that might become very pivotal. Ashiok. No, I don't think we can let this one go. We need our Balageds to be out to pick up our Vesuva here. So let's pay for our pack trigger here and top deck Balaged and slam double Valakut and kill our opponent this turn. That is the best case scenario. Look at that. Holy... I can't say it. But oh my gosh. Take that, opponent. Take it. Dude, well, I don't deserve this. I really don't. But I am enjoying every second of it. That's for sure. We got our opponent to 1. Whew. Balaged looking very impressive there. Heck yeah. Taking game 1 against Mill. Thanks to Balaged recovery. Love it. Love it. Alright, Cavernous Souls, we need you. Relic of Progenitus, we need you too to counter our opponent's ancestral recalls. We need Engineered Explosives to deal with not Damping Sphere, the other one, the Mill one. What is it called? You know what it is. You'll probably see it. We'll bring in Reclamation Sage for it as well. I can't remember, what the name of that thing is. We definitely want Beats Withins for our opponents. Permanents like Ashiok and the Mill Orb, whatever it is. And I don't mind Force Vigor here, actually. They could have not engineered explosives. Dude, I'm just all over the place today. They could have Ensnaring Bridge and negates as well. And thankfully, because we play so many additional mana sources, we don't actually have to cut any cards here. We can just stay at 72. But there is a distinct benefit in trimming cards that are actively bad. That said, I don't think any of our cards... I guess Grazers are kind of actively bad. They do let us power out a Dryad or a Azusa underneath counter magic, though. Not on the draw, however. Yeah, on the draw, I'm going to cut the Grazers. And I think that's about it. Yep, let's submit with the meme number here. I don't know what that number means. I have no clue. Why would that be an interesting number? We'd love to top deck an Amulet here, but it has Explore. It has a Summoner's Pact. It has Pact of Negation. Looking good. Dude, we even beat them game 1 through a Surgical Extraction. Can you believe that? Unbelievable. I guess we had to have the stars align really well for that to work, since we had to have the Pact Negation for their Ashiok. We had to draw the Balaged. All that stuff, but still very satisfying. Alright, well, we're playing our land that actually will not cause us to bounce a land. We're walking right into our opponent's Field of Ruin here, which is a bit of a yikes, but, I mean, I suppose if they do field us... Ooh, that's kind of a problem. I suppose if they do field us, then we can just go for an Explorer. Ooh, never mind. Totally fine. Had it the whole time. Our opponent has a response to this. Ooh, pitching an Archive Trap? I kind of feel bad for them, I'm not gonna lie. Let's just hope and pray that they don't have Field of Ruin. If they don't, things are looking pretty alright for us. And if they do, we'll just play an Explorer, I guess. Glimpse. Yep. Another bounce land is actually perfectly A-okay, in my opinion. I wish this Ghost Quarter was a basic forest. That way we could go through 2 explorers here, but I'm more than willing to throw a Dryad into play here. Again, trying to get it underneath our opponent's Drown the Lock type counter magic. We can play out this Growth Chamber as well. And yeah, if we draw an untapped source, we have a potential Titan with Pact Negation backup. That's nice. Visions. Yep, that's a cantrip. And it means we're not running into Field of Ruin, which is nice. Turn target creature enchantment and opponent controls to its owner's hand. That's actually a pretty cool card. I like that. There's an instant as well. How have I never noticed this card? The improved unsummon. That's awesome. Okay. I always thought unsummon was a decent card. And we would have had Titan this turn. But alas, we'll just have to make do. Let's play our Dryad, leaving our green floating for explore purposes. We'll play Forest Gruul Turf. Actually, let's not. We'll keep the bounce line in hand for Valakut purposes. Let's go ahead and cycle through this explore. Another Dryad, you say? Interesting. I just want to get our mana out and play, I think. No additional land drop. Can't go through another explore here. Sad times. And this is kind of unfair from us, not gonna lie. This is making Mill look like a good matchup when it's really not. Our opponent has not happened... No, they have hit Primeval Titan as well, so they could get us with a Surgical Extraction here. I mean, they can't because we have Pact. I suppose if they hold up a counter magic in addition to the Surgical, things get pretty awkward, but... If we just top deck a Titan here, then that'll be pretty great. I'd even take a top deck Valakut as well. Push Dryad. Okay. We're just going to be doing the Titan thing, so. And we can haste our Titan if they haven't hit Hanweir. Oh, they have hit Hanweir. Unfortunate. So I guess instead we want to trigger Field of the Dead. Let's start by casting our Summoner's Pact. Alright, they have no response. Okay, they could still have Drown, in which case we might need to Pact. Let's see, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. If we get 2 lands from our Titan ETB, that'll be enough to pay for both Pacts, as long as we have enough blue sources, since we have green sources covered. So yeah, I think it's fine to jam. And we do need to play a land first. I'll play a green source here, just for absolute, as safe as possible playing here. Yeah, we can tap Ghost Quarter, that's fine. Alright, well, they didn't have the counterspell. We'll search. We want... Oh, we don't have Field anymore. I guess that one's gone. Yikes. Alright, well, we are probably getting double Valakut then, I guess. Could also get Bog to protect our Titan that's in play from a Drown. Don't hate that at all. Yeah, let's do that. That way we may not have to use this Pact Negation. We can explore here as well, but I'm going to save that for our Dryad turn, I think. Miko Koro. It's an interesting one. Tap 2 and tap the Miko Koro, so each player draws a card. Kind of cute. Ashiok, I do not like. That one can go by. I've just killed us. Oh my gosh, I just killed us. I didn't realize that we can't pay. Told our opponent that was dumb. I kind of assumed that we would have the blue sources, and in play. What the heck? All right, well, let's go to game 3, because I'm a dingus. All right, let's just do that one again. All right, I think we do want dismembers here for the crabs. I don't know why I blanked on that one. And we'll run it back, I guess. Yeah, sure. Just casually 72 card main deck, no big deal. I'm sorry, guys. I don't do that often, but when I do, it is hilarious. I'm not even mad. I'm not even mad. We have the Valcut in hand to protect it from getting milled over. We have a Relic and a Negate. I think this is fine. We'll go ahead and play our Valcut straight off as our land of choice here. I was so focused on the fact that our Dryad would need to... our Titan would need to attack to set up Valcut for Dryad that I did not even stop to think if we could pay for that pact. Ooh, second Valcut is actually a pretty good draw, all things considered. Let's play this Relic, I suppose. And... guess we might want to play Gruul Turf here so we can cast Beast Within if we draw an untapped source. It exposes us to Field of Ruin later down the line, but I guess that's fine. That was really dumb. That was great. Let's cancel this yield here so we can Relic our opponent. Give them as few options as possible. And now we'll yield to our turn. I suppose we might have wanted to save our Relic to target ourselves so we can exile a Surgical Extraction if they just happen to have Surgical plus Glimpse here. It could have been a mistake. There's Glimpse. Whew. No Titan. We're good. And we have both Valcuts as well, so the main surgical targets are not available to our opponents. We did draw the untapped source, so now we can Bala Ged back a Summoner's Pact. I like that. I'm gonna get this forest here. We could also try to get something that lets us ramp a bit, like an Explore, but I think a Summoner's Pact is going to be better here. We are lacking a threat, or we were lacking a threat, and now we are not. So, and we'll leave up the Relic here again to play around Surgical. That's the only reason. If our opponent has the 1-mana cantrip card here, they're going to be able to Ancestral, but not much can be done about that, so. They're milling us hard. They did hit a Titan. Ashiok. Yeah, I mean, we have a Beast Within for that one, though, so it's not the end of the world. Alright, now we can safely Relic our opponent. Alright, let's do that. This crab is doing a lot of work. Huh. Interesting. And let's leave the Relic up for playing around playing around Surgical Extraction. Wish we could cast this Dismember as well as Beast Within this Ashiok, but I mean, we gotta take what we got, so. The question is, do we want to play out this Bog? I think we do not. Really wish we could have killed this crab. Of course, the reason why we have to Beast Within there is because if we allow our opponent to untap, then they'll just keep their mana up with a Ashiok in play from that point on. Alright, well, things are looking really bad. Or swing with the Beast, that's fine. Okay. Let's just untap. Amulet. I don't think that does anything at this point. I guess it lets us cast Titan next turn, so we'll play it. We'll bog ourselves to play around, what's it called? The counterspell, Drown the Lock. We'll dismember the crab. And just hope our opponent doesn't have anything. And that we can untap and pack for a Titan, which hopefully is still in our deck. I haven't even done the check. See, we have 3 Dryads, 1 Titan, 4 Dryads, I think, 2 Titans. I think we still have a Titan to search for. Mesmeric Orb. That one's pretty scary. I think that is probably game. Not attacking with the beast. That makes sense. Huh. Let's see. So let's make for certain. We have 1 Dryad, 2, 3, 4. So we don't have access to Dryad as an out here. And there's no way we can kill our opponent with Titan immediately. I don't think we could even haste it. We probably can't. I think we're just dead here. Is there anything we can pact for? Maybe Reclamation Sage? There's a Reclamation Sage. So we can't pact for Sage either. Yeah, I don't think that we have a way to win here. Let's go ahead and cast the Summoner's Pact anyways, just to see what we find. The only thing we could have gotten was Primeval Titan. Which is quite ironic. We'll play it just to show our opponent. And then we'll scoop, because there's nothing we can do. Well, that felt dumb. The only reason we lost that is because I boneheadedly ran out of Pact of Negation for no reason against an opponent with 0 cards in hand. Oh, boy. Well, that is alright. Lesson learned. Always check that you can pay for your pacts. It seems like a basic thing, and maybe it should be, but it can come back and bite you. So, anyways, that's that. We are still 3-1, which is quite good, if I might say so. Almost beat Mill. Almost was too easy, but that's alright, that's alright. One thing that I considered for this list, but then never implemented, was playing 1 copy of Gaia's Blessing, or Gaia's Blessing, however you might say it. It's a 2-mana sorcery that, when you cast it, you get to cantrip, and it shuffles up to 3 cards from a graveyard into their library. But the more important line of text is, whenever it is put into the graveyard from your library, i.e. by like a glimpse of nature, or what is it, glimpse the unseen, that's what it is, by like a glimpse the unseen, or a Hedron Crab trigger, or something like that, if they mill it over into our graveyard, it shuffles our whole graveyard back into our library. This is one that's been seen play in the sideboard as a 1-of, for purposes of beating Mill very easily. I personally think that many Titan players over-exaggerate how bad the Mill matchup is. We almost just won it without even dropping a game, and we were actually relatively close to winning in the last game there. We just didn't have any way to ramp, unfortunately. So I don't think it's as bad as people say it is, and perhaps playing a Gaia's Blessing is not really necessary, but many people have been playing 1 to combat Mill. I just think it's too narrow of a card. I don't want a card in my sideboard that is specifically and only for 1 matchup. That's just not something I'm interested in. So I did test it briefly, and I don't know if you will see the outcome of that testing, depending on whether or not I decide to post the particular league where that was involved. But I decided against it for this league. So possibly having 1 Gaia's Blessing in our deck would have flipped this matchup a little more easily than it should have been. But regardless, I hope you guys learned something or got some amount of entertainment out of it. ugh, it doesn't feel good to walk into a pact negation, but I know that you guys will be entertained by the fact that I did that, and so, you know what? No dignity. You guys get to see my mistakes just as much as my sick plays. So, anyways, I will see you guys for match 5, where hopefully we can go 4-1 and salvage ourselves from the mistakes that we've made in the past. So, I will see you guys then. This is Redface Menace, signing off.